In just 1 year, 500,000 members vanished from America's largest Protestant denomination. Churches that once held thousands now echo with emptiness. But while some denominations are collapsing, others are experiencing explosive growth of over 1,000%. What's causing this seismic shift in Christianity? And what does it tell us about the future of faith in the modern world? Welcome back to Solvani, where we explore the fascinating intersections of faith, history, and society. I'm your host, and today we're diving into one of the most significant religious transformations happening right now across the globe. If you're new here, this channel examines religious movements with depth, respect, and historical context. We don't mock or ridicule. We seek to understand. If that resonates with you, please subscribe and join our community of thoughtful viewers seeking knowledge. The statistics we're about to explore are stunning. Some Christian denominations are losing members at an unprecedented rate, while others are thriving. The patterns reveal something profound about modern society, generational values, and the very nature of religious conviction in the 21st century. So let's begin this journey together. Picture this. It's Sunday morning in a small American town. A century-old church building stands on Main Street. Beautiful stained glass, towering steeple, a sanctuary built to hold 500 people. But when the doors open for service, only 30 elderly members walk through. The choir is gone. The Sunday school rooms sit empty. And next year there may not be enough members or money to keep the lights on. This isn't a hypothetical scenario. It's happening in thousands of communities across the Western world right now. According to Pew Research Center, mainline Protestant churches in America have experienced devastating declines. Membership has dropped from 18% to just 15% of U.S. adults. But here's what makes this truly remarkable. While some denominations are hemorrhaging members, others are exploding with growth, some by over 1,000%. So what's happening? Why are some branches of Christianity withering while others flourish? The answer is more complex and more revealing than you might think. Let's look at the numbers, because they tell a story that words alone cannot capture. The Episcopal Church, the Presbyterian Church USA, the United Methodist Church, and the Evangelical Lutheran Church, all pillars of American Protestantism for centuries, have lost between 50% to 60% of their membership in recent decades. But at the same time, conservative and evangelical denominations paint a completely different picture. The Assemblies of God, a Pentecostal denomination, has grown by over 1,000%. The Southern Baptist Convention, despite recent losses, remains the largest Protestant body in America. Non-denominational evangelical churches are multiplying across suburban and rural landscapes. Here's the twist you might not expect. This isn't just about theology in the abstract sense. It's about something deeper, about certainty versus ambiguity, tradition versus adaptation, and how different communities respond to the moral questions of our age. And before we go further, let me ask you something. Do you think religious institutions should adapt to changing social values or hold firm to traditional teachings regardless of cultural pressure? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm genuinely curious what you think. Now, we need to examine something delicate but essential: doctrine. From an Islamic perspective, we believe in strict monotheism, tawhid, and we understand that different Christian denominations hold varying theological positions. What's fascinating from a sociological standpoint is how these theological differences correlate with growth or decline. Mainline Protestant denominations have increasingly adopted progressive stances on social issues. Many now perform same-sex marriages, ordain LGBTQ+ clergy, and reinterpret traditional scriptural teachings through contemporary lenses. These changes were made with good intentions, to be inclusive, to remain relevant, to show compassion. But here's the paradox. These efforts to become more inclusive and modern often coincided with accelerated membership loss. Meanwhile, conservative and evangelical churches, those maintaining traditional interpretations of Scripture, those resisting cultural pressure to change doctrinal positions, have shown remarkable stability and, in many cases, significant growth. Why? Researchers have identified several factors. First, conservative churches tend to have higher demands on members, more commitment, clearer moral boundaries, stronger community expectations. Counterintuitively, this seems to create stronger loyalty and engagement. Second, there's the fertility factor. Conservative Christian families tend to have more children and emphasize passing faith to the next generation more intentionally. Third, and this is crucial, there's the question of conviction. When a religious institution constantly adapts its core teachings to align with prevailing cultural values, some members begin to ask, if our faith changes with every generation, what makes it true? What makes it different from secular philosophy? What do you think? Does unwavering conviction attract people, or does it push them away? Let me know in the comments. Now let's talk about something that keeps church leaders awake at night. Young people are leaving. The statistics are sobering. In America and across Western Europe, younger generations, millennials and Gen Z, are abandoning organized Christianity at unprecedented rates. They identify as spiritual but not religious, or simply as non-religious altogether. But here's where it gets interesting. They're not leaving all churches equally. Liberal mainline churches, which adapted their teachings hoping to attract young people, are losing them anyway. The youth aren't looking for a church that mirrors secular progressive values. If they wanted that, they'd simply embrace secular progressivism. Meanwhile, those young people who remain committed to Christianity often gravitate toward either conservative evangelical churches or non-denominational congregations that emphasize experiential worship, contemporary music, and strong biblical teaching. The Southern Baptist Convention, America's largest Protestant denomination, lost nearly 500,000 members in 2022 alone. But that loss wasn't to liberal denominations. It was to non-affiliation or to non-denominational churches. This reveals something profound. The issue isn't just conservative versus liberal theology. It's about institutional trust, authenticity, and whether religious organizations can articulate a compelling reason for their existence in a secularizing world. Here's a trend that surprises many observers: the explosive growth of non-denominational churches. These are congregations that reject traditional denominational labels. They don't answer to larger church hierarchies. They have no bishops, no synods, no Vatican, no governing councils. Just a local church, a charismatic pastor, contemporary worship, and typically conservative theology presented in modern packaging. Why are they growing? Several reasons emerge. First, they avoid the baggage of denominational history and politics. Second, they're entrepreneurial and adaptable in methods while remaining traditional in message. Third, they emphasize personal religious experience and direct relationship with God, something that resonates across generations. From an Islamic perspective, this trend is fascinating because it mirrors in some ways how individual Muslims often relate to faith: direct connection to Allah, personal responsibility for understanding Scripture, and skepticism toward institutional religious authority. But here's the question I want you to consider. Is this trend toward individualized, non-denominational faith a strength or a weakness for Christianity as a whole? Share your perspective below. Now let's zoom out and see the bigger picture, because what's happening in the West is not the whole story. While churches empty in Europe and America, Christianity is exploding in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. In sub-Saharan Africa, Christianity has grown from approximately 9% of the population in 1900 to over 60% today. In China, despite government restrictions, Christianity grows through underground house churches. In South Korea, megachurches draw tens of thousands. But here's the critical observation. Christianity in the global South looks very different from liberal Western Christianity. It's theologically conservative, emphasizing miracles, spiritual warfare, traditional moral teachings, and clear boundaries between sacred and secular. The center of gravity in global Christianity has shifted. The future of Christianity isn't being written in New York cathedrals or London parish churches. It's being written in Lagos, Seoul, São Paulo, and Manila. And here's the uncomfortable truth for declining Western denominations. Christianity overall hasn't kept pace with global population growth. In percentage terms, Christianity is slowly declining as a share of humanity. The question isn't just why are denominations declining, but can Christianity adapt to modernity without losing what makes it distinctive? So what have we learned from this journey through denominational rise and fall? We've seen that certainty often attracts more than ambiguity, that high demands can create higher commitment, that global trends don't always mirror Western assumptions, and that institutional religion faces unprecedented challenges in an age of individualism, secularism, and rapid cultural change. From an Islamic perspective, observing these patterns reminds us of something essential. True faith must be rooted in unchanging principles while wisely engaging the world we live in. Neither rigid inflexibility nor constant compromise seems to create thriving religious communities. As we close this exploration, I want to leave you with a thought. Religious decline and growth are never just about statistics. Behind every empty pew is a person who lost faith, changed belief, or found meaning elsewhere. Behind every growing congregation is someone who found answers, community, or purpose. Whether Christian, Muslim, Jewish, or any other faith or no faith at all, these patterns should make us all reflect. What makes a belief system resilient? What makes it true? And how do we navigate the tension between timeless truth and temporal change? These aren't easy questions. They don't have simple answers, but they're worth pondering deeply. If this video made you think, please subscribe to Solvani. We explore these complex questions with respect, nuance, and intellectual honesty. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss future explorations. And here's my final question for you. What do you think will happen to Christian denominations in the next 20 years? Will the decline reverse, stabilize, or accelerate? Share your prediction in the comments. I read every single one, and I'm genuinely interested in your perspective. Thank you for watching. Until next time, keep seeking knowledge, keep asking questions, and keep exploring the fascinating world of faith and society. This has been Solvani. Peace be with you.